Welcome to Your Story video series brought to you by the Public Speakers Association. I'm so excited to introduce to you our guest star today, Ms. Katrina Sawa. She is a dynamic speaker, author of the book, Love Yourself Successful. She's known as the Jumpstart Your Biz Coach because she literally kicks her clients and their business into high gear and fast. Ms. Katrina Sawa.
Thanks, Tanya. So I only have a few minutes. I want to share just a little bit about my story and why it's significant and could affect what you're doing in your business or your speaking career. And you know, when I first started, I used to be in advertising sales. So I used to help businesses all the time run ads, and I'd find all these problems with their business, the things that they weren't doing, right? And I'd always tell them what to do and how they could do things differently to get more clients and all that stuff. And that's really what sparked me getting into the business and marketing edge of consulting and coaching. And it was funny because I had a lot of friends who had jobs and they're like, oh my God, you're starting your own business. How are you doing that? How are you going to do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I know what to do with people. You know, I just kind of knew enough about enough to help people. And I knew just enough more than they did in order to seem like or be the expert. And so that's, I think, one of the learning lessons that there is in here is that you just have to know a little bit more than the person you're teaching or coaching or speaking to be that expert. Okay, so that's lesson number one. Lesson number two is you just have to go out and do things and not prejudge or overanalyze or, just sit and think about stuff. You have to just go and do it. And that comes from, I didn't know this at the time, frankly, but I've seen it over time and I've reflected back on it, that I just had this feeling that it would all work itself out in the end. I just had this complete faith in myself that it would all work out. I knew enough. I didn't have a plan B. Of course, I was smart. I always knew I could get a job, but I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't thinking when I started my business that, oh, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to go get a job, or, oh, what if this company's hiring? I could maybe apply for that. I never even thought about those things during my day. I would just go out and do, like it's all going to work itself out, the things that I needed to do to run the business. And I would learn slowly because I didn't hire a lot of mentors in the beginning. I didn't know to do that. I went to workshops and listened to some speakers, but I didn't know that I should, to catapult me quicker, to hire a mentor. So I was just kind of going with what I thought would work, and had that faith in myself, which a lot of people don't have. A lot of entrepreneurs don't have that complete faith. So figure out why don't you have it if you don't have it, and what does it stem from, and is it really the truth? Is the truth that you're super smart and you can figure it out and people are going to hire you and you have the right gifts to give? Then that's not a truth anymore, that you need to have a plan B or whatnot. So having complete faith is really lesson number two in this story. Lesson number three, I had to learn the hard way, is how to know what to do and where to invest back in the business. Okay, so I'd hire a little bit, like an assistant here for a couple $100, and I'd pay for this thing or this luncheon over here for $50 or $100, but I never really invested big because I didn't know what the outcome would be. I was looking ahead like, well, I don't know what my next steps are, so I can't see the future. So is it really important to invest in that next step? I don't know, right? And so I think one of the things that stops us is that we have to know these next steps before we're willing to take the first step. And that's a big mistake. That's a big mistake, I think. And that's one of the mistakes I made. But finally, when I realized I needed to go all in and I needed to hire a mentor, I hired multiple mentors. I probably had more than 10 different mentors now in various different fashions, either for a whole year or 2 years, or even just for a few months, or even an hour of picking someone's brain for an hour is worthwhile when you need to learn what they know, right? Because it's faster than going and figuring it out yourself. So I learned along the way that hiring mentors is the faster way to build my business and to know exactly what to do. Now, do you always get the perfect advice? No. Sometimes people think they're giving you the right advice when it's not really the best advice. And So I've been led astray just a little bit, but I mean, that's what happens. And I don't think anybody meant to lead me astray. That's not the kind of mentors I chose. But I did invest in some things, like my first event, for example. I was mentored to maybe do it up big, right? And expect 100 people and go get the big hotel and do the fancy lunches and the networking parties and hire the big AV team and the event coordinator. My very first event, right? Probably not the advice I would give today. In fact, I know it's not the advice I would give today to a new event producer. I would, because I spent about $100,000 to put on that event. But luckily, I was coached also to how to sell better from the stage, and so I did sell $100,000, but it wasn't in the pocket. It was over time on payment plans, right? So I really lost a lot of money for that event. So that can happen. But if you're more informed and you ask more people and you get the right coaching and you ask for referrals around that, you can avoid some of that. You probably won't avoid all of it, right? And it's a great lesson to learn. A costly lesson, but it's a great lesson to learn. And now I'm super careful on what I recommend to clients and how I show them the pros and cons of things, So I'm very careful, and that's how I do it. But along the way in that whole journey, there's been ups and downs. It's been kind of like a roller coaster, right? And so as an entrepreneur, we're like, how can we get off this dang roller coaster? And so I've learned over time, and thankfully now have really consistent marketing strategies and systems and technologies put in place that keep me in front of new people every month, as well as my current database and prospects and clients. Everything is consistent. That is the key word here. And if you are not building a consistent revenue generating, lead generating, money making business model, and you're in the roller coaster, you've got to figure out how to get some consistency in your business, because that's where you can end a year like I did last year with no stress about money. There was the first year in almost 16 years where I didn't stress about paying bills or not being able to afford something that I wanted to invest in. It was the first year that I did not stress about money. Okay. It was because I finally gotten to a good place with my systems, my team, my technology, my website, my marketing, and myself and my own mindset, as well as, let me just say, my love life. Okay. My significant other. This is why I talk a lot about love and money. And my book is Love Yourself Successful. It's not just about confidence and success in yourself. It's about having love all around you and that support so that you can feel empowered and cherished and valued for what you're offering, because that is going to attract you the right client, frankly. And that's what happened for me when I really embraced this love into my business and the 4 types of love I talk about in there. And so all of that together, it came up with actually I have a new signature talk that I haven't even told Tanya about. And it's fun. It's like the 7 secrets to building that consistent revenue generating business that everybody wants for more freedom. And, it is those things I was talking about: systems, technology, the right team, the right pricing, the right programs, automating and delegating, and then personal love, happiness, and support. And all of those things together is the secret sauce to running a consistent 6+ figure business, if not a lot more. And so if you're not paying attention to some of those things, that's what you want to look at. Heed my warning, because it took me a long time to get here, but I'm really glad to be able to share some of these thoughts with you in my story. I've had a lot of ups and downs, but it's been a great ride. And I can't even imagine going back and getting a job, frankly, ever. So this is what I'm meant to be. And however it evolves into whatever it evolves is the unknown, but that's what's so exciting about it at this point. And I wish that on you too. And if you want to know more, there's a couple free audios and stuff that I thought you might be interested in today on my jumpstartyourmarketing.com website. Go to jumpstartyourmarketing.com. If you go /free trainings, there's a couple trainings on there in particular. The Jumpstart Your Biz Kit is the one that's going to help you with a little bit more systems and marketing and structure. But the Live Big free audio, the Live Big free audio is the one that helps you envision maybe a bigger vision for yourself, a bigger life, maybe talking about the love for self and things like that. So go check out some of those, and please feel free to come and reach out. I'm very accessible, and I like to make sure I can help newer business owners, newer speakers, even seasoned ones get more love in your life and money in your business.